What's up, everyone? This is Landry here with another episode of Cheeseheads Weekly. It's good to be here on the show again, and today we are going to have a really fun show. Um, Here on the 13th of June, we're going to do a little draft. Um, it's going to be a lot of fun. Have some guests on the show for that. But before we get into that, um, we'd like to see plenty of participation in the Q&A and the polls on Spotify. Um, you can also submit some questions in or anything else you really want to send in about the show by voice message. There's a link in the description of every single episode on every platform: Spotify, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, Stitcher, Pandora. Um, every platform in the description of every episode, there should be a link um, to send in a voice message, and that would be great. Haven't had one of those in a long time. There's new episodes every Tuesday. Um, Hit the bell icon, um, at least on Spotify, to be notified when a new episode comes out. That's always nice. And rate the show and tell your friends about the show. Um, Tell your friends about the show, especially. Get the word out to more people. That would be awesome. And also, check out my new website that I told you guys about, revealed last week on the show at greatcove.net/cheeseheads, spelled with a Z, of course. And there is a link in the description of every episode for that as well. So you can check that out. It's a lot of fun. You can listen to every episode of the podcast on there if you want to, on your phone or a computer, laptop, desktop, anything. Um, so be sure to check that out. So we're going to go over a little bit of news here, a little piece of news in a minute. Um, Once we get Robin and Troy on the show, we're having them on the show again. My cousin Robin and Uncle Troy, and both been on the show before, but we're gonna have them both on at the same time to do a little draft. Um, and But I would like to mention that Packers mini camp started today, so be looking around for little tidbits on that, and maybe I will talk about that a little bit more next week after we conclude rookie mini camp, and so we know what's happening. But I will say this: Romeo Dobbs and Jordan Love really got a connection going, and it's going to be really exciting to watch them as we start the season through the rest of the off season, and then throughout the next year then as well, throughout the season. But the show's going to go a little longer today, and so we may as well get right into it and do our draft. Well, I'm happy to have Troy and Robin here on the show again. Um, we've had both of them on the show before, but not together, and so we're going to get them on here together, and so we can do our draft. We're going to do an offensive draft. We're drafting all-time Packers offensive players. Um, so pretty much we're going to be drafting 11 players. So we got 11 rounds here. Um, we'll be drafting a quarterback, a running back, two wide receivers, a tight end, a flex position, which is a running back, receiver, or tight end. Um, so kind of like a fantasy draft in that way. Two offensive tackles, two guards, and a center. So that's pretty much it then as far as how we're doing it, and we will get right into it here.
All right, so we'll get into the draft. I did not mention that it is going to be a snake draft. And then to start with, our order is going to be Troy first, and then Robin will be picking number 2. I will take the third pick, and then we'll be snaking that around. So I will be the first pick in the second round then. So Troy, you're up.
All right. Well, this is exciting. I appreciate you putting this together. I'm looking forward to this. I didn't, this is interesting. First pick, and I think I got a minute on the clock, so I'll go quick here. But this pick was difficult, I felt, because I know Robin, he's old school, so I know how he thinks. Um, and I'm looking who is the best Packer player of all time. That is so tough. But if I'm picking first, I'm going to go quarterback on this, guys. And I know this is going to surprise you. All week, I was going to go with this quarterback. And then the last minute, I'm like, you know what? You got to go by the numbers. This quarterback is 150 wins, 79 losses, 65 completion percentage, 59,000 yards, 475 touchdowns, 105 interceptions, and a 103.6 passer rating. And if
I know who you're picking already.
Yep, and if this guy would have had the talent around him, if we would have gotten some big playmakers, I think there's more than one Super Bowl. But I have to go Aaron Rodgers, and I know that might be a shock to you guys, but the guy is flat out talented. You can't deny it. I'm happy with the trade. I'm glad we moved on. We had to do it. I think we cashed in and did well with it. But if you set that aside, the guy is just phenomenal. I mean, when you look at Brett Favre's numbers, he threw for 286 interceptions and had 160 wins
He also played in a very different era.
in a different era. I get it. But you know who was the most fun quarterback to watch? It was Brett Favre. I mean, when he came in for Don Mikowski after the injury, I mean, it was incredible. And he hurt his ankle against Cincinnati, and he threw that touchdown pass to Kitter Taylor to win the game, and Favre Mania went. And then this guy, I mean Favre, the consecutive games he played, he never missed a beat. So that was tough for me. I really wanted to go Favre. Um, I really did. But if I'm trying to pick the all-time greatest, and you look at the numbers, that's why I went Rodgers. So that's my pick. You're up.
Uh, the biggest thing is his NFC Championship game passer rating, adjusted for era, is ugly. That's all I'm going to say. And you made this
I
pick
know. I
very,
know.
very easy for me. You made I wasn't going to go quarterback if you picked my guy, but you
Yep.
didn't do it. This guy has 5 championships
Yep.
in 9
I know.
years. You, Mark Starr is my
Yep.
guy.
Good pick.
I appreciate not picking Star there. If you were picking Star there, I was going somewhere else, but I couldn't let Star slide.
It's a good pick.
Okay.
And,
Yeah,
his
I'll be honest. Yeah, go ahead.
his postseason passer rating, still, as of right now, number 2 all time, number 1 among retired. 104
Yeah.
for his era. That's insane. He was clutch, as clutch as they come. I have him right there with Montana and Brady. That's me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I knew you'd be old school, and I left that for you. I knew it would make your day. I knew that, so that's why I let him go slip to you.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. All right, Landman, what do you got?
Um, this is actually a hard selection. I might have to look at my
You get
rankings
two.
here.
You got two coming up.
That's true. I got 2. Okay. Um, yeah, I'll be honest. As far as quarterbacks go, um, obviously I'm picking one of the 3. But I had Bart Starr number 1 as well, just because if I'm building a team, I want a winner, and he was definitely a winner. He was great in
Yeah,
the playoffs,
it
and
was.
also he had the Packers record for most consecutive games played until Favre came in and broke that record in 2003, I believe, is when that record was broken. So I
I
found
thought
that was an
someone else held that record.
interesting stat.
Yeah.
Maybe
Huh.
so. Maybe it was quarterback or something. I saw something. I'm not sure. Maybe
200,
I'm wrong on that.
297 consecutive games without missing a start. The only one closest to him is Jim Marshall on defense. He had 270.
Yeah. Favre was nuts. Honestly, you
So
probably could get
I
away
guess
with it.
I can. I guess I can wait on quarterback here and go for. It's not like
Yeah, you
someone
can
else
take
is
one
gonna
right
pick.
now. That's fine.
I guess I'll be nice and pick a quarterback here. I'll pick Brett Favre. Um, the last
Right.
remaining quarterback.
I could have flexed him.
And then I'm gonna yeah. Yeah, I could have just waited because I mean quarterback position's full, but yeah, I'll be nice to you guys and not pick too many other great players and other positions. And this is a tough one here. But I think I'm gonna go Jim Taylor, the running back. Uh it's pretty
Nice pick.
pretty
That's a good
incredible
pick, yeah.
what the stats he put up just in his era. Like records are just now being broken.
Mm-hmm.
That he set a long time ago. Like Amon Green is their leading rusher, and he broke his record like in 2009 or something.
Mm-hmm.
And Taylor played from 1958 to 1966. So pretty amazing stats, and he still by far has the
still holds
touchdown record,
rushing
81
touchdown.
touchdowns in his career. Yeah,
Yeah.
his rushing
Played a very
touchdowns
good
were
team, but
crazy.
still, yeah, the dude was a
Yep.
monster.
So
It's a
that's
really
where
good
I'm
pick.
going with that for my second pick, and it looks like Robin's up now.
All right. Well, I think I'm going to go greatest offensive tackle in franchise history.
I don't like you.
And Forrest Gregg.
That was my pick.
I thought about that one as well.
Yeah, that's a good pick. That was who I was going with, Robin. Can we mute him somehow or just like get him off the show? This is like not right. All right. I'm not upset. All right. Why did you pick him, Robin?
Well, like in my book, he's top maybe 3 right tackles, just right tackles of all time, at least. And I'm, in a biased opinion, I might put him at the top. There's only a handful of tackles I would probably rather have overall in NFL history. He was really good. Very, from his opponent's sayings, extreme technician. Deacon Jones, who is a great, said Greg's one of the best, probably the best he ever faced. And yeah, obviously the greatest. I think I didn't look for sure, but I think he's on this 1960s All-Decade team. Hall of Famer, obviously. Multiple All-Pros and Pro Bowls. So, and he was part of. Not sure if he was on all of them, but he was on most of those championship teams as well with Star.
Yep.
All right, well, that's a good selection. I really wanted him, but I guess I'll take the next greatest player if I'm up here. Am I up? I'm up.
Yeah, you are.
All right. In my rankings, this is where I have this guy. All right. He led the NFL in receiving in 8 of his 11 seasons. He scoring 5 consecutive years. Twice he was named the league MVP. An awesome player. We even have a building named after him in Green Bay, and that would be the great wide receiver, Don Hutson. I will take him with my selection.
Yeah, that was for me where I was at where I picked Taylor there. It was between Hudson, Gregg, and Taylor. I decided to go with Taylor, but
yeah, Hudson was a good one. The only thing I've run into with him, obviously as a receiver, he was incredible.
Mm-hmm.
I found that for his era, some other his teammates and opponents were not as high on him because of his defense.
Yeah.
because of his all-around play.
Right.
Now, they'll be quick to say his receiving, if you're calling just a receiver, like, this is perfect. I mean, he's right up there with, honestly, he's right there with Jerry Rice.
Mhm.
I
And that's
mean,
how I looked at him.
he was
Yeah.
that good.
Yeah.
And
He had,
then, too,
mhm.
a lot of people will say, well, his best years came when the war took away a lot of the better players, which is true, but you still can't just ignore the numbers either.
No.
So there's some
He had
ridiculous numbers.
105 touchdowns. Yeah,
Yeah,
105 touchdowns in 11 seasons, which is more than Jim Taylor by 14. And he had the most points in a quarter with 29.
yeah,
Um,
insane. And it took how many
yeah,
years before someone broke his receiving touchdown record? It was a long time
a long time.
before
Yeah.
Largent finally broke it.
Hmm.
It took forever. He set those records in the 30s and 40s. You have another
Hmm.
pick, Troy, whenever you're ready there.
I do. Yeah, this one's a little tough because, I want to go fun, and just, pick all the guys that are in the lights and all that. But sometimes you got to get a guy in the trenches too, right? One of those types of players. And so I think I'll do that because I think there's some guys in other positions that are a little bit deeper that I'd go with if they fell to me. Um, but I really like this guy. So I'm gonna go an offensive guard. I'm gonna go with Jerry Kramer.
Yep.
I don't think he'd fall back down to me.
Don't know. Maybe.
Maybe not. But I'm gonna go with
I'm not
Kramer.
I wouldn't promise it. Let's put it that way.
All right, you're up. Oh, Robin is up. Yeah, Robin.
Yeah. Well, this position is kind of scarce outside of the top dog. So I think I'll go here. I'll go center, Jim Ringo.
Yeah, he was on my list at number one as well.
I mean, I was looking at, like, outside of him, it gets kind of scarce as far as, longevity plus greatness on their roster at that position.
It does.
So that's where I'm going. And he was part of the first
Good
three
pick.
championships for that again
Mhm.
for the 60s. Multiple All Pros, Hall of Famer. I'm thinking he won All Decade. Not 100% positive on that, but the Hall of Famers puts pretty much a lock on it. It's hard to argue with Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
That's where I'll go with my third pick.
Well,
Okay.
he had 10 Pro Bowls too
Whew!
in
And that's when
15
Pro Bowls
seasons.
actually meant something. That's when Pro Bowls actually meant something.
Hmm.
Pro Bowls after about 1990 don't really mean a whole lot.
No.
But especially since
All right.
2000.
Yeah. Well, I guess I'm up.
Yep.
It's tough to know where to go here. So far, I have a quarterback and a running back. I think I'm gonna go for a lineman too. I think I'm gonna go guard. I'm gonna go Gail Gillingham.
Ooh,
Um,
you've done some research.
Actually had him on my list
well,
too. Number two. But
I didn't think you would pick up on him, Landry. Good job.
yeah, nice job.
to be honest, I did not do a ton of research. I did not do a ton of research on the linemen, except I did. I looked at some rankings, and I saw a lot of players, Packers players like Forrest Gregg, like some really great players for the Packers, said that he was one of the greatest offensive linemen they've ever seen, and never made the Hall of Fame. and most people think he should have, but
He probably should have. His biggest problem was he caught just barely the tail end of those champions and played for the 70s. And they didn't win a whole lot those years.
exactly. Yep. Yeah, that's exactly.
I-
A lot of good players were forgotten during those years.
Yeah, I loved that pick. I didn't think there's any way in the world he would get picked this early. Very well done. You get a perfect 100 for that pick, Landry, out of my book. That
Hey,
was awesome.
his team's looking pretty good.
Well, all our teams are going to look pretty good. It doesn't
I
matter.
guess.
I mean,
That's true.
it
Hey,
doesn't
this isn't
matter.
this isn't our fantasy draft, is it? Because
Wouldn't
if
that
it
be
is,
nice?
I guess out of all of us so far, I'd be the only one that could get points.
Yeah, probably.
If there's nobody else on your rosters.
Landry has Favre and Taylor.
Yeah. So unless we look at old footage, but all right, you got one more. Where are you going this time? You gonna impress again, or are you gonna like lay a goose egg? What do you think? You could go kicker.
I don't know.
There's no kicker spot.
Yeah, that would be an issue. Yeah, it's definitely tough. Only one receiver picked so far. Oh man, not sure. I could try to go lineman again, go for tackle possibly, but I think I'm just gonna go receiver, and I'm gonna go with Sterling Sharp.
Ah,
Yeah.
I knew Robin was gonna like him.
That's who I almost took too. Yep. I love Sterling. You know, if he wouldn't have got injured, you know, he
Oh my
would have
goodness.
been absolutely he
He's
would have
top five
done
all time.
amazing. He would have.
Top five all time.
That neck injury, man,
And he
the
should,
guy was
honestly, in my
talented.
book, he should still be in the Hall of Fame. I mean, if they put Terrell
Mhm.
Davis in
Yeah.
the Hall of Fame, they should absolutely put Sterling Sharp in the Hall of Fame. Plain and simple.
Number 84.
Yeah, for sure. That's agreed. And Shannon Sharp said whenever he was inducted in the Hall of Fame that he's the only
I heard about that.
player in his family to be in the Hall of Fame, but not even the best player in his own family. He's exactly right.
Yep. And Shannon was no slouch himself.
No, he
Good luck.
wasn't.
He was a much better player than he is a talk show host. We'll put it that way.
Hey, do you remember? Yeah, exactly. Yeah, him and Skip Bayless. Do you remember? And this, you know, you should know the answer because I'm kind of setting it up here. But who did Brett Favre throw his first touchdown pass to as Green Bay Packer?
Oh, Kendrick Taylor.
No, it wasn't. It was actually Sterling Sharp.
Oh,
5-yard pass. That was later in the game. It was Kendrick Taylor. Yep.
Gotcha. Yep. That makes sense. He threw a lot of them to him over those couple of years.
Yes, he did.
Good
pick.
Yeah. Well, you
all right,
Andrew,
Robin.
I was literally was gonna be my next pick because I didn't want him sitting there too long. But you made it so I'm gonna I guess I'll hold off on that for now. And since I only have 3 guards at the very top of the list, so I better take the other guy before, in case one of you knows this guy's name. Way back, played in the 1920s championship teams.
You broke up.
Go.
Yeah, well, it must be a great pick because his mic went dead. You're using a mic from the 1920s too, or?
You got me here?
All right, now we got you. Yeah, we missed this buildup.
Yeah. We wanted to hear how you're supposed to say the name. I forgot to research that, so it's a good thing I didn't pick him.
Yeah, I'm not sure if I'm saying it right or not.
Well, I missed the name because my mic didn't pick you up. So what'd you say?
Mike Mikulski.
Oh yeah, I have him on my list.
Yeah, that's probably right.
He's goes way back.
Yeah, like I said, well, yeah, you didn't hear me. Yeah, part of the late 20s and early 30s championship teams.
Right. Yeah,
Yeah,
he was excellent.
I had him ranked above Jerry Kramer actually. But
Nice. Yeah, I had Kramer ranked number 1 simply because of name. I figured you guys be more likely that you guys would know him
Hmm.
of the other two. Then Landry dropped the hammer on me with that Gillingham pick.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take Mikowski and run while I can, so I
All
don't miss
right.
out. So you got 2 coming to you, Troy.
I have 2 coming to me. I'm at the point now where I just want to have some fun and just, make some picks here and just kind of be like, I really don't care. It's because I like them and I might just pick them. And they're on my list too, by the way. But let me just check my stat sheet here really quick. Yeah, most of them are off the list already. Isn't that fun? Okay. Well, let's see. What do I need? I don't have a running back yet, and I'm at pick number 4, fourth on the fourth here. Um, you know, I'm just going to go with Amon Green. Um, I really, really like that guy. Um, and he did some amazing things for Green Bay when he was there. I enjoyed watching him as a kid playing, and just as a young kid and watching him play, all the numbers that he put up. And I think he ranks pretty high in my book as far as I had him at number 2. So I'm just going to go with Amon Green um, because I like him.
Okay.
yeah,
All right.
I had him number 2 as well actually.
Okay. I just like
You
him.
don't
I
want
know
to
he's
know
a
where I
trade.
had him.
Yeah, that's okay, Robin. I know you're the old school, but I really did. He played so well for him. And I really like him a lot.
I'm not debating he wasn't really good. I'm
Yeah,
just saying in Green Bay is rich in running back history.
they are. They are.
Very.
And
They're
probably
almost
because
on
it's
par with the
clouded
Bears.
because hmm And I know
Almost on
there's
par
a
with the
guy
Bears.
out there, that old school guy I could have went with, and I actually got his autograph. I won't tell you who it is until he's picked, but which is special. But so I thought about that guy, but yeah, so that's the guy I'm going to go with there. So, all right, and the next guy I'm going to go with, let's see here. I want to have 2 solid wide receivers, so I'm just going to do it, and this is who I'm going to go with. He played in an era where Green Bay wasn't that great, but he was fantastic, and that's James Lofton, wide receiver.
Yep.
Um,
I was thinking about landing him to get my number 1 because I didn't have one yet.
well, that's why I wanted. Yeah, I love James Lofton too. I mean, I remember as a kid, I was in high school, and the Packers traded for John Jefferson from the San Diego Chargers, and they had Jefferson and Lofton, and then when those two got together, it was like, oh, like we were just so excited, like this was and Jefferson didn't do that great, but with Green Bay, but Lofton, he put up some really good numbers for some losing teams. He had 1,000-yard receiver. You could depend on him every year for 1,000 yards, and he delivered despite being on some pretty poor teams. So you put
The
him
only
on
thing he's lacking is touchdowns.
yep, and but I still, again, I think that's more of the team than his talents. And I think, you put him on a team that had good, outstanding quarterback play, he's probably in a whole nother level yet. But
Yeah.
he was so fun to watch. Number 80, James Lofton.
Yep. 17 yards per catch.
That's right. Um,
Hudson was right there too. You think Hudson was like 16, so you got some good receivers for Rogers to throw to. He has no problem with receivers in your team right now.
no, sir. And I really like him a lot. And um, growing up in that era when he played and watching Green Bay, he was always a favorite, and you go out in the yard, pretend to play football, and that's who you were. You were James Lofton. So I got to go with him. All right.
Okay. I guess that put me back on the clock here. Ooh. I'm just looking at my list a little bit here. I think I'm gonna secure my first running back here, and they also played linebacker, really good linebacker. He's more natural. They call him a fullback, actually, kind of like Jim Taylor. But a big name that said, well, you guys have probably both heard of Bronco Nagurski.
Mm-hmm.
Well, Nagurski was supposedly hard to bring down, and at this guy's Hall of Fame inauguration, Nagurski said, "I was supposed to be tough to bring down, but this guy didn't seem to have a whole lot of trouble." Guy goes by the name of Clark Hinkle.
Mm. Yes, sir.
Interesting.
So I'll take him as my first running back off the board here. He could do it all, including kick a few time or two.
Mm-hmm. That's a good pick. I'm looking at all your picks, Robin, and you got maybe what we could do midway through here is we could rattle off our lineups for the audience so they can see who we have so far, so we're all even. But so I won't do it right now. But that's a good pick.
Like you were saying earlier, old school and proud of it.
Yeah, this doesn't surprise me. And I'm older than you, but yet you're picking the old school. You think it would be opposite, but
Yeah.
Well,
you know,
I didn't think Landry was going to sneak up on Gillingham either. So there is that.
yeah.
Gillingham's not really a known name. So unless you do some research, I was shocked to see Landry pick him up.
Well,
That's why
I didn't do a ton of research either, so pretty much I just looked up some rankings and read off the descriptions, and
I guess for him that's probably all you would need.
Hey,
yeah,
Robin, what's
pretty
your
much.
height? How tall are you?
Just a hair over 5'7".
Okay. I thought you were taller. Okay.
No,
All right. Clark Hinkle was 5'11".
it's pretty good size for a running back, especially in that era.
Mm-hmm.
Mm.
Yeah, he was born in 1909, so that tells you how. Yeah.
Well,
All
Mikulski was
right.
even older.
Yes, he was. What you got, Landman?
I have to.
You still need that kicker.
I got mine. Not very great.
Yeah.
Wasn't super great, but good enough.
Yeah.
Oh man, I should probably go offensive lineman again here at some point. It's tough to know which one. I really don't. I didn't do a whole lot of research at center. Center would be pretty much a guess at this point. Could go tackle. I think I'm gonna go tackle and go Cal Hubbard.
Ooh, love it. Awesome pick.
You just like all the old guys, Robin. So, I did have Hubbard in my rankings. So I did have him in my rankings. So
I mean, hey, a young guy is taking old guys. I love it.
I know this is really cool. So here's,
I mean,
you want me?
just look at your team.
Yeah, well, let's look at it.
Your
What's
team
he
doesn't
got?
have. Yeah, sure. Let's go over what we have so far here. So Robin's got Bart Starr, Clark Hinkle, Bart Starr at quarterback, Clark Hinkle at running back, Forrest Gregg at offensive tackle, Mike Mikowski at guard, Jim Ringo at center. So pretty much he went up and got almost all the top guys at linemen, offensive line, and yeah, they're all guys from, I don't know,
Well, Mikowski's from the
a long
20s.
time
Greg
ago.
Ringo from the 60s, 70s.
Okay, so that's probably your most modern player right there.
Yeah. Forrest Gregg or Bart Starr, my most modern player.
I knew he was
Alright.
going to do it. I just knew it.
Well, Troy's got.
I was looking at some a little more modern players, but you and Landry sniped them in front of me. So
That's true.
Like
I was looking
who?
at Sharp and Lofton mostly.
Okay.
Gillingham, who was a little bit later in time, but Sharp and Lofton were the most gregarious ones.
Yeah. Looks like Troy has our most modern player. Rogers at quarterback. Running back is Amon Green. 2 wide receivers already, Don Hudson and James Lofton. He'll definitely have the best receiver group. And then we have Jerry Kramer at guard. Did we pick anyone else?
That's it.
All right.
I think
And
it's
then
Landry's pick currently.
That's right. I have another pick. Yeah. So I got my tackle. This is tough. Know who to pick here. I feel like wide receiver is probably almost the deepest position here. So I can probably wait a little bit there. So we'll just I guess I'm gonna go tight end. We're gonna go Paul Kaufman. Switch things up a little bit there. By far the Packers' best tight end, best all-time tight end. So pretty easy pick for me.
I think cut off.
Yeah, you picked Paul Kaufman, tight end, which that's a solid pick. First tight end off the board, and that's where I had him ranked too, is number 1.
Okay.
So we got, Robin's up next.
That puts it on me. Well, there's one top dog tackle left. So I think I'm going to take my next tackle. Stick him at left and Greg at right. And here's your modern.
Oh, good. We cut him off. Yep. He's gone. He's gone. Just gone. Just Landry and I know on the podcast. So,
yeah, we had this problem last time too.
Yeah.
He's
Can I predict who he's going to pick?
Where he's at.
I'll say he's going to take Chad Clifton.
Yeah.
That's what I think.
That was my
All right.
guess.
Yeah, all right, Robin, who you got? Is it Chad?
Okay, sorry, I broke off right there. No, modern, very modern.
Oh.
Still on the team.
Oh, I know who you're taking.
Really? Oh.
Bakhtiari.
Had him on my list.
Okay.
Wow.
I have him ranked just ahead of Chad Clifton. That was a good look. That was a good look, though, Troy.
Yeah, that was a guy that if you're researching or you're looking at rankings, he didn't really hit many of the, probably because he's still playing type thing. I don't know, and then of course he's been hurt. Now people are like, but that's a sneaky good pick. In his prime, simply one of the best.
Yeah, and he's played long enough to count or something.
He does. Yeah, that's a good pick.
Yeah, you don't see him on a lot of rankings, but.
Yeah. Well, the only one ranking you can see him on, and he ranks high. Go check out Green Bay's all-time All-Pro and Pro Bowl reference. He's up there on that list.
Yeah, exactly. I know. That's what I was thinking. Like, he's been All-Pro like how many seasons now? So I was definitely.
They just count first team All-Pros. They don't count the second team on that ledger. And he's made a couple of second teams as well.
Yeah, he has. Yeah, I would have I probably would have went Chad Clifton over him, but yeah, I do have him on my list.
Yeah, like I said, Clifton had more longevity, and obviously a Super Bowl ring doesn't hurt. But for me, I mean, obviously Clifton did have some serious competition for All Pros and Pro Bowls
Mhm.
with, like they had Ogden and Walter Jones and those guys, Orlando Pace. But Bakhtiari had to fight Tyron Smith, Trent Williams, and some of those guys too. So it wasn't all daisy and roses for him either.
Mhm.
So I think I'm gonna go Bach. Like I said, it's very very close. In a best of 7, it'd be 4 games to 3
Mhm.
between those two.
Well, and I'm up, and I
Yeah.
need some help on that. And I was hoping that that's who you were not going to take. That's where I'm going. So since you took Bakhtiari, I'm going to go Chad Clifton. He was
Makes
just
sense.
so solid. I think he had 100 in 165 games. He had 160 starts. I think I read. So I mean, the guy was just like you said, 6'5", 320. He was always in there. And 10, or I'm sorry, he played a lot of Pro Bowl selections. I think he had. I can't remember how many he had, but anyway, his pass blocking techniques were just textbook. He was just phenomenally good. So I'll go Chad Clifton. All right, and
Good
then
pick.
thank you. Now we got another one. I got to go. Let's see. I
Yeah.
don't even know what positions I got left here. Let me just see what I got left here. I need a center.
My pen just quit on me too.
Let's see, what do I need? I got so I need a tight end, a center, a guard, and a flex. So at some point we got to go center or guard okay. All right. Let me look at that. Boy, there's a couple I could go.
You do need another tackle too at some point, it looks like.
Oh, I need another tackle. Okay.
Yeah, and another guard and center, flex, and tight end. You're pretty stacked for the skill positions there.
Yeah, that's the most fun to pick. That's why I did that. So,
Yeah,
um,
exactly.
so I got to go center or guard, huh? Or tackle?
Yep, tackle as well.
All right.
Could be interesting.
Well, I'm going to do it. I'm going to go a little bit old school here just because I want to. And this guy was on Vince Lombardi's team in the championship teams in the 60s. Um, and um, I know he was a fan favorite. He was 6'1", 247. Um, he teamed with fellow guard Jerry Kramer to clear the way for some great running backs. Fuzzy Thurston.
Fuzzy, fuzzy.
We'll go
Yep.
Fuzzy Wuzzy. So we'll go Fuzzy Thurston.
That's actually really neat. You teamed up the 2 guards from the same team.
I had to, right? I mean, that's when I saw that. I'm like, they got to be together.
Yep, I like it.
All right, Robin, you're up.
Okay. Um. And there's still a lot of receivers out there.
Sure are.
I'm gonna go, and I'm gonna secure who, in my mind, is the top halfback in team history. And the unfortunate thing is, in my book, he's the best player not in the Hall of Fame. And he could do it all. He could receive, run. He could even play quarterback in a pinch.
Mhm.
He played defensive back really well. and he's also the best punter in team history. Vern Llewellyn. And that would be, I guess that qualifies my flex, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty good flex spot.
Good.
Actually,
Well, he could do it all. Yeah, when you think about that, it's like that's a modern day Taysom Hill, right?
True. Yeah, there you go.
Like I said, I think he's better than most of the running backs that are in the Hall of Fame on the Packers.
I actually didn't put him on my list. I thought about it, but there was enough other running backs that I didn't even put them on my list.
You're right. There is a ton of good running backs. And I have 6 on my list, and he's the only one not in the Hall of Fame.
Okay. I have 7 on my list. And I have 1 that's not in the Hall of Fame as well.
Yeah, yours would be Ahman Green. Yeah, so that tells you where
I guess he's
Green.
not in the Hall of Fame. Okay, I have 2 not in the Hall of Fame. Sorry.
Oh.
1 other than Ahman Green.
Okay,
but
you
might figure that out later. Sure, go ahead.
Aaron Jones?
Yeah, it is. He's like last on my list, but so I doubt he'll get picked, at least not by me. But I guess I am up, and let's see. Need another receiver, flex, tackle, guard, and center.
I'm glad I grabbed my center early.
Yeah. I feel like there's not a whole lot, like you said, after
the gap between
Ringo
him and
there.
second place is pretty big.
Yeah. Well, man, I don't know. I guess I feel like I did not do enough research here at this position, but I'm gonna go Charles Brock. Played a lot of different positions.
Hold the phone. You literally just took my number 2 guy.
Well, yeah, he was my number 2 guy too, but I didn't figure that meant a whole lot since he was my number 2 guy. I didn't do a whole lot of research, but he's 207 pounds. I know that much.
Wow.
And he's remembered as tough and fearless on both sides of the ball. So
Yep. And in my opinion, well, from what I've read, he was right on par with Mel Hine and Clyde and Bulldog Turner in that era. From a lot of people.
So no idea who those guys are.
Just the greater centers in their team history. That's all. Mel Hine is actually, in my book, is on par with is lined up with the top centers of all time. He was incredible. But yeah, love that pick. That's awesome, Landry. I didn't think anyone was going to pick him up.
And there you go. He did it. Well, you've done it to him twice now.
Not more.
Well, I was taking the big name, the big Hall of Fame names. I figured these guys that are not Hall of Famers would be kind of passed by the wayside. Landry's making sure they don't.
Well, to be honest, I'm just looking at rankings, dude. To be honest, it doesn't even say here if they're in the Hall of Fame or not. At least I don't think so.
I'm surprised he's even in the rankings.
I had no idea if he was in the Hall of Fame or not.
He's not, but he maybe should be. But the fact that he's even on those rankings is kind of surprising.
Apparently, I'm looking at these rankings are whoever made these rankings is kind of like you in the way he thinks. because he's number 2 on these rankings as far as centers go. So
Wow.
that's pretty much why he's number 2 on my rankings. But I do have another pick here to start round 8. And it's going to be tough. But I don't know. I feel like I might go another lineman. Double up on the lineman here. But it's hard to tell. I just don't know enough about these guys. But I guess I'm gonna go with another tackle. I'll go Bob Skoronski, I guess.
Very solid pick. Very solid pick.
Well, that's the guy I was thinking about. So I appreciate that. All right. Well, you are the host, though, so I guess you can do that. That's acceptable.
Yeah, no problem.
It's not when Robin does it, though.
Well, with the way things
this
are
is
going,
great.
the way things are going, I think I'm going to grab my second guard here because I'm afraid the way things are going, Landry's going to snap him up somewhere. I'm going to go. He was 1930s all decade team.
Okay, I think I know who you're talking about.
Several All Pros and Pro Bowls whenever they had the Pro Bowl in his era. And go Bucket Goldberg.
Okay. Not who I was thinking then. All right.
Yeah, there's a couple other guards from that close to that era too that are pretty solid. But I think Goldberg was the best of the bunch out of the ones that are left.
Yeah.
I actually didn't have I was just writing names down because I was kind of last second. I only wrote 3 names down at the guard position because I thought I could get 2 out of the 3. I did not.
Yep.
I figured Kramer might get me by, but I didn't figure on Gillingham getting sniped ahead of me.
Yep.
So Troy, it's up to you. It's on you.
All right. All right. So what I need here is I need a tight end, a center, a tackle, I believe, and then that fun flex position that we can talk about. All right. Well, a lot of guys are gone that I was looking at. It's one guy here that was so good in 82 for the Packers, but I think I'm going to pass on that guy. There's another guy I really want to take because it was the era that I remember most. And he had a cool nickname, and he was a really good center for Brett Favre.
You're talking about for Favre.
Yeah,
I was thinking a little further back.
Yeah, but I am going to go further back just because I need someone on my line that can start and play and be consistent. That's tough, durable. Only made 2 Pro Bowls.
And let me guess, and he's also currently works for the Packers. On as a
That's
media
right. That's right. And if he's listening to the show, he's going to just be like so impressed. You know, if I can get him, to listen, he'll be like, "You selected me," and I might get invited to maybe one of the broadcasts. And so, for that reason, I'm going to pick Larry McCarron, the Rock. 162 consecutive games for Green Bay. I'll take a center like that. And again, wasn't on very good teams, but I look at it as you can't judge a guy based on what era he played in either. Lofton's a good example. McCarron's another one. But yeah, Frank Winters was the other guy I really liked a lot. Bag of donuts. But I'll go Larry McCarron.
Yep. I don't disagree at all with that pick.
All right. Well,
You got
good.
another
That
one?
makes me feel good. Oh, I got another one. Oh, well,
Yep.
maybe I should go tight end. Just, I got to pick a tight end at some point. Uh, yeah, I got, you always say trust your rankings. And so I do have my rankings. I have two guys on the board here. And like you said earlier, Landry, there's a drop off from Paul Kaufman. By the way, I met Paul Kaufman. I was in Kansas City, had an autograph session, and Paul Kaufman was there, and had a chance to talk to him. I met Jan Stenerud. Uh,
Ooh,
is it Bobby Bell from
bigger
Kansas
Kansas
City?
City. Oh my,
I met Bobby
he's a
Bell.
legend.
I met him.
Wow.
I'll have to tell you about that. I got a lot of cool autograph. I met Dan Quisenberry, Paul Splittorf. It was just a really cool autograph session. But those are the guys that stood out to me. Brett Saberhagen, the pitcher for the Royals at the time. So just a lot of Kansas City guys. That was so cool to meet. Anyway, but getting back to the pick then. All right, so I'm gonna go um, just because of his contributions to championship teams of the early 60s. Excellent at run blocking. He had speed, athleticism, and he's one of Green Bay's top tight ends behind Paul Kaufman, and that would be Ron Kramer.
Yep.
Number 2 on my
That's all
list.
I can
Yeah. So I'm going to go Ron Kramer. Yep. Go ahead.
That's a great pick. I love that pick. I think in today's NFL, you put him and Star in today's NFL, and it would
Yeah.
be insane
Yeah.
what they could do.
Oh, I know. Yeah. That's why it'd be nice
My
to
pen does
morph
not
these
want to work
guys.
on your list. Sorry.
Yeah. He's in the Packer Hall of Fame. Yeah, just a solid tight end. So, all right,
Yep.
you're up.
I love that pick. All right. Let's see. What do I have left here? I have both receivers. I have receivers and a tight end.
That's it.
I see.
Yeah. Yep, that's right.
Well, a lot I have to choose from. I tell you what, those top three guys gone, it hurts a little.
Mm-hmm. Be interested in seeing who you go with here.
It's a really tough call.
I'd go
Two
Tony
guys
Mandridge,
up.
but that's just
Uh-huh.
me.
Thankfully, I don't need another lineman.
What? You want to take Tony Mandridge? Oh, you don't need one. Oh, okay. Because that'd be a solid pick. I mean, yeah.
Yeah, if we were picking worst Packers teams ever.
Oh, he's good. Went on to play for the Colts. I mean, he was really good.
Let's say this was just for Packers.
Oh, that pick, Tony Mandridge.
Yep. And what
You
about
know,
what? They took a quarterback from Minnesota back in '81.
Rich Campbell.
That might be it. A couple picks ahead of Ronnie Lott.
Yeah, another solid pick.
Yeah, I love Buck Starr. I think he was actually by the time it was all said and done, I think he would have been a solid coach. Terrible general manager. Unfortunately, from what I hear, they wouldn't listen to their scouts. Some of the stories I've read.
I think I got the wrong quarterback. Rich Campbell played in University of California in Berkeley, it says, but that doesn't make sense. But
It was him. I know it was a quarterback that
Yeah, that was who it was. Yeah,
I know there's one guy. There was one guy anyway that
he was a
some
bust.
some for guy was talking to one of the scouts, and when they made that pick, the scout said that's a bad pick. He's like,
Mhm.
why didn't you say anything? Like they don't listen to me. That's what I read anyway.
Yep, that sounds familiar. So who are you going with?
Well, like I said, I'm debating between two guys here.
You guys in the same position at wide
Yeah.
receiver, you're saying?
Mm-hmm.
All right.
But I know Landry needs one too yet, so that's. But it's not
I
like there's
do.
any shortage of good receivers. And actually, Troy could might draft another one too on flex. And you might
Yeah.
draft two. No, did you already take? You
No,
could
I
still
got
draft.
I got flexes open. Yep.
Hey, don't be
So
looking behind you. Just look forward.
Yeah.
I guess I'm gonna
Don't
go with
worry
the
about me
guy.
picking your guy.
Yeah,
I
it's
guess
like
Um,
I'm gonna go with the guy with the longevity here. He was Green
okay.
Bay's anchor man for a long time. He oversaw the transition from Favre to Rodgers. Donald Driver.
no.
Yeah, he was
Oh,
next on my list.
me
I kind
too.
of wanted him,
I
but
love Donald Driver. If I could meet any Packer, I'd love to meet him. That guy is like just got the personality of an excited squirrel. I mean, that guy is smiling and chirping and just I mean, I bet you he'd be just a blast to be around. Man, Donald Driver. Love it. Love it,
Yeah,
love it,
he
love
didn't
it.
have quite the touch. He didn't have quite the touchdown to some other guys, but
No,
and
that's
I
okay.
mean, I only remember him ever being like a possession receiver. People forget in his early years he was a serious deep threat.
Mm-hmm.
He had some wheels on him.
Number 80.
And the one catch that sticks out to me that watching highlights is in a Rams game. I think it was maybe 2011. So it was near the end of his career, and he was interfered with, and his one hand pinched behind his back, and the other hand he roped it in on the sideline. Just a beautiful catch.
I remember that. I actually remember that. Yep.
So that's gonna be my first receiver pick here, since all the top three dogs got taken.
All right.
all right.
Landry, what are you doing?
Oh, yeah, it is me. Okay, so I got two picks. I still need a guard too. Man.
There's still good ones out there. Don't worry.
I'm sure there is. It's probably just that I don't know who they are. Um, um, I've got on my list here. I don't know who I should pick, what position I should pick, to be honest. But I think we're gonna go. Well, yeah, let me see here. No one else needs a guard, so maybe I should just wait. I think I'm gonna go. May as well go wide receiver here. Um, this is tough, a tough spot. Wide
Yeah,
receiver seems
I'm looking at
to
my
fall
rankings. I
off.
feel you. I'm looking at my rankings. I feel you.
Yeah, I know who I want to pick. I'm not sure if it's the right pick though. I think
Um,
he's down a little further in my rankings, but
You do you.
yeah, don't worry about it.
yeah, I think I'm.
It's not Alan Lazard, is it?
No,
Okay.
no thanks.
If you're picking out Lazard, a list of all-time Packers, you need help. He
Yeah,
doesn't have
I
anywhere near
know.
the
I'd say.
protection
That
for
was
that
pretty
pick.
low. That was pretty low. I know you wouldn't do
I
that.
guess if you want a blocking receiver,
Oh
then go
man.
for it. But,
Yeah.
Unless you really need that block,
Yeah,
I
I
wouldn't go
was.
there.
Yeah,
You could
not.
probably
I was
count,
gonna
you could
say I
probably
wouldn't
count
pick
20 that are
Lazard
ahead of
after.
him.
Yeah, well, after what you've told me about Lazard, Troy, I don't think I'm going there.
No, he's going to flop in New
But
York.
well,
I
we'll
think
go
everyone's going to
Antonio
flop in
Freeman.
Ooh,
Yeah, I'm going Antonio
Ooh,
Freeman
number
here.
86, Freeman. Oh man, he had a great Super Bowl. Um,
Yeah, I
then he
like
just
the
lost his
way
speed. Yeah,
he's he's great in big games, and Packers, at least more recently, don't have a ton of players like that. So I think he would be fitting quite nicely here with
nice.
Sterling
hey,
Sharp.
that's actually, I just looked down and saw this, but you paired Favre with two of his former targets.
Hmm.
Yeah,
Both
Sterling.
I
Sharp
know.
and Freeman with Favre. That's
I
too
remember
scary.
watching highlights. I remember watching highlights of Sharp and Freeman, and you know, especially Freeman was like had that catch that defender kind of dropped on him and rolled all over him, and he somehow still caught it. And yeah, kind
Yeah,
of highlight reel stuff.
That was against Minnesota.
that
Monday
was,
Night
yeah, Monday
Football.
night
It
against the
was
Vikings.
it
Al
was
Michaels with the
Monday Night
call on
Football.
that.
That makes it even better.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
And the Viking guy just, just kind of stood there like normally they would. Just was dumb, and he gets up and runs it in.
Yep. Oh man, that was great. Um, so let's
You got another one
see.
here.
I got another pick here. Okay. I could go. Whew. I could easily go receiver. Probably should, since no one else needs a guard. But I really don't know who to do now. Or maybe someone else. Maybe someone else is better for flex, I guess. Didn't think about that. It's my flex position that I'm looking for. I do not know. It's probably between running back and wide receiver. Um, but I have an idea. Just need to look this up here. I think I'm gonna go with an older player here. Tony Canadeo.
Woo! Lovely pick.
First Green
Nice.
Bay Packer. First Green Bay Packer to rush for 1,000 yards in a season, and one of the most versatile players in team history. So seems like
His
he'd
name's Mhm.
Yeah,
make a pretty
I
good
like that pick.
flex. Only running back with a retired number in Packers history as well. So
That's right. I was going to say he's in the ring in
Oh,
Green
wow.
Bay.
Yeah, he's in the Hall of Fame too. Yep. Which there's several other running backs that are Hall of Fame too, and they're still out there.
yeah.
All right. Wow, there is a ton of guys still available to me. Well,
Well,
I'm looking at
hmm,
health technician or quarterback's teammate here. But I think I'm going to go route technician and pair driver with Devontae Adams.
goes modern with the receivers.
Hmm. That's
Well,
good.
you guys took the old school ones, so
Oh, not exactly. There's
you guys
two
took my top
really old
three.
school ones.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
Actually,
one
there's
that was
three
super
really
old.
old school ones. Yeah. Oh yeah, actually there's four. I have four here that I saw in rankings and know nothing about. Um But yeah,
Yeah, that'll be my
that
second
makes me
receiver.
feel good for not trying to pick one of them. Yeah, Devontae Adams is a good pick, even if he, like, just the way he runs routes. I mean, it's not too.
Yeah, I would, like I said, I was looking at my quarterback's teammate, one of my quarterback's teammates for that spot, but I decided to go get the route runner instead.
Okay, yeah, I see. Yeah.
And he's, of
Well,
course, he scored
let's see.
ridiculous.
Troy to
Troy,
make 2 picks here.
Troy. All right. So, you know, this is a guy that I think I need a tackle, right?
yeah, I
think I
think you
need
need
a
tackle and flex,
tackle and flex. Well,
right?
I have him on my, yeah,
Yeah, because you took tight end last time.
And you should be
yeah.
able to finish it up right here. You got 2 picks, so.
Okay. So, um, this is tough because, your flex position, you can really go any direction that you want, but so we'll save that for the end. But
That'd be fine.
yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll save that. All right. One of 2 guys here. All right. Well,
Right?
yeah, this guy was on, lost him again. Um, I don't, he didn't pick Bob Skoronski, did he? Earlier, because when he broke up,
No, I
okay,
did.
you
I
did. That's
did.
what I thought. Okay. Then the only other offensive tackle I have on my list here is Greg Koch. So that's what I thought. I thought you had taken him. So he's ranked number 5 on my list, or 6. Greg Koch. Um, Robin, did you get
Tackle.
that?
Okay.
Yeah.
I did not have him on my list.
Yeah, I had forgotten a little bit about him. I was thinking he might go either Brian Balago or Mark Tosher.
Yeah, I was thinking about Tausch, but this guy, he played from 77 to 85. He's in the Packer Hall of Fame in 2010. But 9 years, he only missed 2 games, started all but 4 after his rookie year. But he was good. He played with Lynn Dickey a lot, and I remember watching him play. Um, uh, he would go against some pretty big names, and he would just fight. He wanted to be the best, and I think he was on teams that went 8-8. Um, but this is a guy that was really solid for them for several years, and he's good at pass blocking. So I liked him. So kind of remember him from my area. I think I even have a football card of him, if I remember right. And then for my flex, there's lots of ways I could go with this. If I just want to go fun factor, um, I could go Paul Horning. I could, I could, I could, but I'm not. Um, I'm gonna go with and I go, oh, this guy I love too. I really, 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 really love Edgar Bennett. That guy when he ran in that mud bowl in Chicago on Halloween night, and everybody was falling, he was the only guy that stayed on his feet, and he just scampered in for touchdowns. Love Edgar Bennett, love his heart, but this guy I just loved, and I loved watching him play, and that's Jordy Nelson. I got to go Jordy. Jordy, number 87. I mean, he is a Packer. He did it right. He came in, he wasn't drafted super high, but he came out of Kansas and Kansas State, I believe. And he was just a solid Packer year after year. And then he got that stupid ACL injury. But one of my all time favorites would be Jordy Nelson.
Yep, I don't hate that pick at all.
And that's my
Sorry,
flex.
Land. I'm messing up your on me. All right. Yeah, so Troy picking Kramer back there a minute helped me save my tight end for last. And this guy was at the top of my list on tight ends. Played 9 years.
Really? Okay.
Played 9 years. Was named an All-Pro at least somewhere in all but his rookie year. Was part of 3 championship teams. Played played defensive end as well. And in my book, second best player of all time, not in the Hall of Fame. Troy, you know who I'm talking about.
Yeah,
Should
spit
be.
it out.
I told you about him a while back.
You did.
Lavi
Yep.
Dilwig.
Yep. Yep. And it's related to Anthony Dilwig, the quarterback that decided to audible in a game for us against the coach's wishes. And anyway,
Yeah, Dilwig, like I said, multiple pros, opponents at the time.
Mhm.
Red Grange called his stand to bring him down. Obviously,
Awesome.
in that era, receiving wasn't much of a thing. So if you go by stats, it's nothing.
Mm-hmm.
Like his stats look like a very terrible whole season for a 60s tight end. Actually, guys, for a 60s tight end, his career stats look about right for a 60s
Yeah.
over a single season.
All right. Well, looks like I have one more pick. I need another guard, so I will go with Russ Letlow. Like I said, along with all these other linemen here I don't know very much about him, but Russ Letlow is the pick.
Did you hear of him, Robin?
Rankings.
Ooh. Yep, I just
think
heard
he
it.
likes
Yep.
him.
Okay.
I like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I was looking the guards the other night, trying to figure out who I need to have as a backup plan for my top 3 or 4 after buckets, and Letlow's one I stumbled upon. Yeah, I think if I remember correctly from what I read, he was 1940s All Decade. But yeah, Dilweg. Back to Dilweg, I get broke off right in the middle of it. Ferocious blocker, great defensively, just a great all-around player. Red Branch, yeah, like I said, his opponents were very high on him. And I think the biggest thing that happened to him is Don Hutson came along right afterwards, and that's why he's overlooked. He's a 1920s All Decade. Yeah, just like I said, him and Llewellyn, in my book, are the 2 best players, period, not in the Hall of Fame.
All right, yeah, that was a lot of fun. So I will read off the teams for you. We'll start with Troy's team. His quarterback is Aaron Rodgers. His running back is Amon Green. Wide receivers are Don Hudson and James Lofton. Definitely a strong group there. Tight end, Ron Kramer. His flex is Jordy Nelson. He's got 2 offensive tackles, Chad Clifton and Greg Koch. His guards are Jerry Kramer and Fuzzy Thurston. And then center is Larry McCarron. For Robin's team, his quarterback is Bart Starr. His running back, Clark Hinkle. Wide receivers are Donald Driver and Devontae Adams. Tight end is Dilwig. No idea who this dude is. Vern Llewellyn is his flex. Tackles are Forrest Gregg and David Bakhtiari. And then guards are Mike Mikowski and Buckets Goldberg. And then his center is Jim Ringo. For my team, we have Brett Favre at quarterback. Running back is Jim Taylor. Wide receivers, Sterling Sharp and Antonio Freeman. Tight end, Paul Kaufman. Flex is Tony Canadeo. Tackles, Cal Hubbard and Bob Skoronski. Guards, Gail Gillingham and Russ Letlow. And center, Charles Brock. So, thoughts. How about we go and let's go ahead and we'll each pick who our favorite pick was from each team. So like your team and the other two. So let's start with Troy. What was your favorite picks from each team here?
Yeah, from each team. I think my favorite pick for Robin, um, I think getting I love the Greg pick, but he went where he should have went. But I think, picking up Driver and Adams at the end, it was a good strategy. He got some good studs there. And I love Donald Driver. When he took him, my heart sank because that's who I was going with. So that'd be my favorite pick would be Donald Drivers. That doesn't mean he's the best player. It's just my favorite pick, especially where he got him. I think he got good value with him at number 9 there in that round. Landman, I believe my favorite pick for you. Um, Again, I'm an offensive guy. I love offense and Sterling Sharp. I was hoping he was going to fall to me too. I was just these are guys that I've watched, so Sterling was just a phenomenal pick in the 4th round. So to snag him then is good you did because you wouldn't have got him. So those would be my favorites.
All right. Yeah, I would say.
I missed about half of that.
Yeah, I
think
just
you
said my
cut down
favorite
on
picks. My favorite picks were for you, Robin, was getting Driver at pick number 9.
I did hear
And
that
then
part. I didn't
yeah,
hear the
and
other two.
that's where you picked it up. That's it. We were just picking who we thought the other two teams the favorite picks of that we saw in there.
Yeah, and Sterling Sharp was the one that he liked that I went with, and who was the favorite pick that you picked?
Yeah, my
Troy.
favorite pick, I guess getting Jordy at 11. I just I didn't when you were picking, to be honest, when you were, other guys were picking, I thought, well, Jordy could go, he could go, but I know, we're talking all-time Packer greats, and I get it. But to get him at 11, eh, I thought that was one of my favorites.
I've actually got 2 receivers still on my list that were never picked.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah. Well,
Houghton and Roy Dowler.
yeah, and it's just probably more of a fan is how I'm rating this right now. It's just
Yeah.
he's a fan favorite, and he's somebody I just enjoyed watching.
Nelson was on my list, so
Yeah. How about you,
but
Robin?
um, I don't know for Landry. I love the Brock pick. I love the Gillingham pick, but I think my favorite pick of his was probably Cal Hubbard.
Hmm.
I think that's or Sharp. I like Sharp a lot too. Um, for you, hmm,
You can't pick them all.
yeah, I don't know. Probably Lofton is at where you got him as far as value perspectives. Lofton's
Hmm.
a hard thing to go against
Yeah.
because I think you picked him up on around the turn on
Yeah.
the other side of the turn. So I was
Yeah.
getting ready to pick
Wrong.
him up, and that's who I was going with.
Yeah.
So probably have to lean Hutz Lofton on that one as far as my favorite pick there.
Okay.
I mean, also I love Hudson, but in mine, I'm picking out low fruit here, but getting star at number 2 made my night.
That's why I
Yeah.
left him for you.
I literally, if Troy took Star, I would not have taken quarterback till the very end because I didn't really care
So
about.
who would you have taken? You would have taken Forrest Gregg, I bet.
Probably, yeah,
Yeah.
yep.
Interesting.
Well, Greg was
But,
by far and above
uh,
the best at that position.
yeah.
Yeah, to
Um,
me,
to me, Rogers
yeah.
and Favre were too close to pick between them, so I was gonna wait just whoever didn't get picked.
Yeah, see, if I had a chance at Rodgers, I would definitely have taken Rodgers over Favre. But yeah, like I said, I was gonna take Star. Um, if I got the chance, I didn't think I was gonna get the chance, of course, but being the third pick there. But yeah,
Not not with you picking third.
yeah, that's for sure. So my favorite picks, I don't know. As far as Troy's team, I think I'd probably have to go with Jordy Nelson as well. Definitely like that pick. Or possibly one of the other receivers. Those, yeah, I really like his receiver group there. And then for Robin, um, yeah, I'd probably, to be honest, actually, I think I'd say it's probably between Devontae Adams and David Bakhtiari. Um, I found it interesting that he picked those two guys, and uh, especially Bakhtiari where he got him. And yeah,
Well, you took cover. You took cover before I could get in, so
yeah, yeah. So I'd say I'd probably go. I'd probably say Devontae Adams is my favorite pick if I had to pick one. Just because, yeah, he's a really great route runner, and um, as far as greats and stats, and he hasn't won Super Bowls or anything, but he's he's just being able to watch him and see what he's done on the field. He's definitely a very good receiver, just the way he runs routes and everything. For me, I'd have to go Sterling Sharp. Sterling Sharp was the guy I had in my head the whole time. I was going for Sterling Sharp, and I was stoked to be able to get him. So yeah, definitely Sterling Sharp there for me. So let's just real quick here. Um, whose team? We'll each take turns picking the team that was your favorite or what you think is the best, maybe. I don't know, whichever way you want to go there. Let's start with Troy.
Well, I'm going to pick my team because I drafted them, right? So but
So
Robin
yeah,
is
I guess your team would be the favorite. So you can pick
yeah
which one you think is the best.
the best. Okay, all right. So that's my favorite of the best. I would say, hmm, it's really tough
who
because
do you
when you
take,
look at it, I guess I would say for my who I think is the best team. Probably Robbins, because he knows his old school Green Bay Packers, he knows his teams and he knows his players from that era. He really studies them, so I give him credit for that. And it's hard to compare players from that era to modern day era, but they were the best when they played in that era. So that's not their fault they played in those eras. Um, the game's bigger and faster now, and so some guys probably would struggle, but that's not the way the NFL was built. So um, backer teams. I mean, they were dominant in those eras. They knew how to build championship teams, and they really had some fantastic players. So, if you want to go history, I mean, it's probably the best of what Robin drafted. I went more modern, a little bit more fun. I sprinkled in most of my guys. If you look at them, are mainly newer guys. There's not very many old school guys on my roster that I picked. Hudson, Kramer, Fuzzy Thurston, and tight end Ron Kramer. That's it. Four players. So seven of my guys would be more modern era guys. So I'd say probably the best if you want to just get like accolades. It's probably Robin's team, and yours is probably a close second. Mine, yeah, I'm a little more of a distant third, but I went with a little bit more of a modern feel.
Yeah. Yeah, and I like that. Um, I certainly don't mind that. Yeah, I'm a little bit more like you. I mean, you probably know more about these older players than I do even.
Hmm.
I figured I would be at a disadvantage slightly, because I knew Robin does plenty of research, and some of these guys I've barely even heard of. His tight end, I have no idea who that guy is. And so yeah, I mean, I looked at rankings and stuff. I read a few things about him, but I certainly didn't go really deep. I mean, this was like the first I'd ever really researched um, some of these older players,
Hmm.
just to start with for me. So just getting ready for this. So I'm happy with how I did considering. And the fact that Robin was unhappy that I stole a bunch of his picks means that I must have did pretty well because I'm sure
Yeah.
he would know. So what about you, Robin?
Yeah, I missed about a third of what both of you said. My phone's cutting in and out on me. Um,
Well, I can give you a quick. Oh, they cut out again on them. Well, this is not good. Um, Harry's coming back.
yeah.
You win the All Glitch Award. Um, okay, I'm going to talk
Yeah.
really fast because you're probably going to break up. Okay, so here it goes. I picked your team as the best team because I really liked your team a lot. It was really a lot of fun, and I thought you picked really well. Got it
Not
out.
that much.
All right. So you better tell us who you think is the best team.
You can pick yours if you want.
Yeah, that's where you're
Well,
struggling, I think.
I think I have. I think I have to. Although Landry gave me a run for my money, but Troy's weapons are elite too, for
Yeah.
sure. Those, taking two of the top three receivers is huge. Was a big deal. That
Mm.
saved his team. And
Well, that was my
outside of that,
strategy.
for me anyway, outside of that,
Outside of that, and he hung up again. I think, can you, I mean, he's not calling the hotline, is he? I mean,
Yeah.
this will be the blooper section of the show. Brought to you by Robin. How many times can a guy disconnect before we ban him from the show?
That's a good question.
Yeah. Where are you calling from? Iceland or where are you at?
well, I'm in my trailer, which the reception isn't great, but that's ridiculous. It says my
You're
service is fine.
Oh, so you're not in a darkness retreat or anything like that?
No,
Okay.
not
All
hardly.
right.
Remember that song? You're the one of Dodgers, remember?
Oh yeah, yeah, I did pick him. I can poke fun him because I picked him. Doesn't mean I have to like the guy. I just picked who is the best.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest, Robin's got the
Yeah, I think.
the darkest area there, so he's closest to darkest retreat. Then
Yeah, I keep looking at my phone the wrong way.
got some shadows. Oh,
Here
there
we
he
go
went.
again. All right. Well, this brought to you by my
Yeah, time
magic
for
eraser.
yeah.
He could do an ad for them. I mean, right? We could get a new
Yeah,
sponsor for the show,
I know.
Magic
I tell you
Eraser,
what,
and Robin
we
could
don't.
be the spokesperson.
Yeah, we don't have any sponsors, so I mean, uh, yeah, this would be a good time to do something like that.
Please don't tell me you have Verizon. Um,
No.
oh, okay, good. I'm just
Well,
poking fun.
well, it's nice you like your team. Uh, I really like my team, to be honest. But I like my weapons.
I mean,
I don't know anything about the offensive line really, so.
You got a good offensive line. Sorry, Troy, but he's got a better offensive line than you do.
Oh, I know he does. Yeah, and he hung up. Good. That was me. I made him hang up after that comment from me. So I just disconnected him.
Okay, so it sounds like I do have a good line, and
And I don't.
yeah, I don't know.
But I have good receivers, so
It'd
I'm
be
happy
interesting
about
to
that.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see if we all ranked like every position, like every position was picked and gave number 1 through whatever, and then added the stats from the team with the lowest number would have the highest ranking.
Well, we could do that, and then we could just, send all our teams to you, have you grade them since you know the most about all these players, and then you can get that information to me, and sorry, go ahead.
You two would grade all the teams as well, and I would grade them. Each
Okay.
combine all our grades.
Oh, that's actually a good idea.
And we would just text them to each other, just to see.
Exactly, and then I can announce
I
it.
don't know. Maybe
I can announce
maybe
it on the
I don't
next
want to do
show.
that, and I'm fine.
Well, I could announce it now. I give Robin an F, I give Landry an F, and I give me an A. So
Okay.
I'm just joking. No, you guys got some good teams. Yeah, I would think you guys would rank pretty high.
Yeah.
It's probably Robin, Landry, and then me, to be honest. Now if you're just ranking receivers, I might have the edge.
Yeah,
But if you're
for
looking
sure.
at overall team, yeah, that's probably a true statement.
Yeah, so I would say, so yeah, that would actually be kind of fun to do, and I can announce the grades on the next show for anyone who happens to want to know, and that'd be a lot of fun. But I guess that'll do it for this show. We definitely went plenty long and had a lot of fun. So I
Mhm.
mean, if the audience gets bored, then it's not a huge deal to me because I had fun. So uh, I'm sure people will at least start listening to it. They can
Mhm.
skip through it, I guess. And so, yeah, thanks for coming on. Really had a blast. And yeah, we definitely should do something like this again. And maybe we'll do the defense sometime. That could definitely be interesting because there's a lot of great defensive
Mhm.
players
Mm.
uh, um, coming from the Packers. So
Yeah.
I'd be excited for that. So.
That's what you get when you have 100+ years of greatness and multiple championships. You get great players everywhere.
Yep,
Mhm.
for sure. All right. Well, thanks for coming on, guys. And yeah, we'll have to do it again sometime. It was really great having you on, and I'll talk to you later.
All right. Thanks for having us.
Thanks, Landry. See you, Troy.
Yep. See you. Good seeing you guys.